when we started in 1998, most people became a volunteer, quite honestly, because my sister, my husband, my wife, my brother, my daughter has HIV, and you'll help me take care of that person. And then staying with us, and staying with the mission of Catholic AIDS Action is, oh, I can help my neighbor down the street, I can help the villager. And so each volunteer has, 2 or 3 clients. And then support for the children. We have about 16,500 registered children. Some have lost both parents, some have lost only one parent, but vulnerable kids. And we keep them in the community, so we don't build orphanages, and then support the community to support these children, so that we can keep the negative kids negative and the kids that are positive to get them on treatment as soon as possible. So we have now about 7,500 home care clients. We have about 16,500 orphans that are in community care. And then we reach about 9,000 youth, young adults every year through our prevention courses.
Is the prevention part the hardest part? Or the education, testing, counseling, those areas, is that harder than taking care of little kids?
I think because we really strive for that holistic program. I mean, there's so many things that are difficult. I would say, no, I think the hardest is the poverty. Because whether that's prevention or home care, when you just don't have the resources, this person could improve, we could do better prevention, we could do better care for orphans if there was just more funding. And so I think it's the poverty that is just a constant struggle here.
If and when Americans see this program and are moved to want to give or help, who would you want them to contact?
Well, they could certainly contact the Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers, and that's important, and that's very valuable. The funding, that I get through my mission account and through the Fathers and the Brothers. But I also want to encourage, people to contact, their senator, their representative, to ensure that this program continues. It's one of the largest foreign aid programs in the history of our country. It's also one of the most successful. So it's money that is incredibly well spent, and we need the advocacy to continue those programs.
A moment ago you said our country, and I believe you meant Namibia. Is this home now? This is really home?
I mean, it certainly feels like home, but I think that's one of the mysteries of being a missionary, is we're almost without a home. The U.S., is my home culture. It's, what I was brought up. But even now, being away from the U.S. for 11 years, so much has changed. But honestly, I'm not a Namibian. I love Namibia. I love the country. And so the missioner is bridging those cultures, and sometimes, is without a home. But I think that experience helps me with people with AIDS, that they find out they're positive, the stigma, the discrimination, they're without a home. They're sometimes without a community. And so the missioner understands that and can be with that and hopefully change that.
Can you give us some stories about some of these kids and their progress and, the best success stories that you take home with you at night?
There's a lot of success stories, and I think especially, with kids, with a lot of work. None of this is a simple intervention that, give me 15 minutes with the kid and we can change their life. This takes relationships and building those relationships and giving some stability to people. But once that happens, and once that consistency, we're seeing, with kids that are delaying the first time they have sexual activity. We're really making that choice. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till I finish school. And giving them the ability to dream. I've said before the story of Jason, a young man that both of his parents died. But Catholic AIDS Action volunteers found this family and supported them to continue school with the school uniform, visiting them. Are you doing your homework? Helping out with a little food. Well, we eventually got Jason through secondary school, and I said, Jason, what do you want to do with your life? And he didn't bat an eye, and he said, I want to be a doctor. Well, through some friends in the States, we got him through 2 years of pre-med, and now, Jason, this kid, orphan, the child-headed household is the term, is now just finishing his second year of medical school in South Africa and is going on to his third year. So, we're making a difference with kids, and I think it's through those community services. We've got to get out of the offices and into the communities, and that's the strength of Catholic AIDS Action. A great Maryknoll sister, when I was in, my first days of Maryknoll, said to me that the role of the missionary is to stand in the face of horror and not run. In the early years, our motto was "No one dies alone," and that just drove us to make sure that people weren't dying alone, that someone was holding their hand at the very end. That was very true of my early years in Africa. Treatment has really changed that, and right now, in thanks to the President's Emergency Plan, in thanks to the Global Fund, 60% of those 7,500 clients are now on treatment. And so these folks are not, it's not dying with AIDS, although that's still a part of what we do, but changing what we do as Catholic AIDS Action and helping people live with this virus and live positively. And clients, we call it the Lazarus effect. People that were dying in the home, man, they're rising, and all of a sudden it's like, but now, Father, I need some help getting a job and going back to work. And so it's another challenge, but thank God for that challenge.